So here is what's going to go down. It is now time for your featured poets. Okay? Now I'm going to say it one more time because that was the proper response. It is now time for your featured poet. All right. That's more like it. Okay. So the Poetry Slam started here, like right here. Actually at the Get Me High, but then it kind of came over here. But it started in Chicago. And one of the great things about Mark, even though I will give him as much shit, I'll give him more shit than anybody else in the world. But this is something that, it is fun, and we get to talk shit, and we get to share stories. But it really has become an international movement. It really is all over the world. We've been able to do slams in Switzerland, in Germany, Copenhagen, a lot of other places, and it all started here. But one of the things that the slam kind of did is it went into the schools, and I think that's probably one of the things that Mark is most proud of, is that it went into not just academia, like colleges and stuff, but it went into middle schools, it went into high schools as a tool to get kids who were taught poetry probably the way that I was taught poetry, which is by a lot of very, very dead people. That poetry can be exciting, and it could be fun, and it could be something that you'd want to do, as opposed to something that your teacher makes you do for 1 week in April. And yeah, poetry month. Nothing kids like towards the end of the school year than you just to unload poetry on them. I'm a middle school teacher. Don't do it like that, y'all. So one of the things that kind of sprung up is in Chicago, there was a very large youth slam. It now goes by, it's called Rooted and Radical. It's run by young Chicago authors. And I used to be involved with young Chicago authors. Back in the day, we'd have these huge poetry slams. I did a lot of hosting, and I got to meet a lot of the young poets. I got to see a lot of the talent that this city had to offer, because they were offering a platform for kids to share their stories. The poet that's coming up today is somebody that I met when they were 17 or 18. When I say it's like a big slam, I'm talking like they would sell out the Auditorium Theater, they'd sell out the Metro, sell out the Vic. And now they do it at the Ramova Theater, and you were one of the semifinalists, correct? So I got to see Adrienne perform at the Metro, which up to that point I had just gone to see punk rock bands and hardcore bands at the Metro, and I was like, oh my god. So it was, and it's great because you see some kids get up there and it's scary. It's really fucking scary to be like 17 and be like, here's a poem about feelings, and there's all these people there. It's terrible. It is absolutely horrifying. But Adrienne was the shit. Adrienne did really well, and Adrienne has since thought, hey, there's a lot of shit that we used to do in high school that we don't do anymore, right? Like, I don't wear Jinko jeans. It's cool. I think I could pull them off, but I don't. But Adrienne is one of the, thank you, Dad. But Adrienne is to really see their journey has been awesome, because sometimes people, they get to this big pinnacle, they get a big stage, and sometimes and for some people that's enough. It's like, all right, that was cool, that's something I did, now I'm gonna do other things. And not to say Adrienne didn't go on to do other things, but Adrienne has stuck with the writing and stuck with the poetry, and they are here celebrating the release of their second book. The first book has the best fucking title ever, Crowd Surfing with God, which is great. And Good Luck in the Real World is the new one. You might be looking at me like, all right, asshole, like we don't know you. That's okay, because I can co-sign for Adrienne as much as anybody, but the foreword for Adrienne's first book was written by Hanif Abdurraqib, multi best-selling author. Get a shout out, get a blurb from Jose Oliveras on the back of the new one. That is all to say that Adrienne is wonderful. Adrienne is the shit. And when Mark told me that I got to host the show and I got to pick the feature, I knew exactly who I was going to go to. So the band is going to stick around and help Adrienne with the first poem, but please put your hands together for Adrienne Novy!
Hell yeah, short people! Thank you so much to Tim for having me. Okay, band. The year is 2012. You are a sophomore in high school. And one of your friends has just introduced you to this cool band called My Chemical Romance. Nice. This is the pop punk Bible. In the beginning, God was a 15-year-old girl. And in the beginning, the earth was without form and void, and so God created MySpace. And God wore sleeveless denim jackets and shopped at Hot Topic and thought about stretching her ears. And in the beginning, God said, let there be alternative rock music in the early 2000s. And so God plucked a comic book artist from New Jersey and handed him notebooks and microphones and electric guitars begging for a ballad. And God told him to create until he felt himself breaking. And My Chemical Romance created so much loud, their name became Shattered Glass. And Gerard Way accepted all the outcasts, and every venue's bar stool splintered into pews. And God smashed years worth of beer bottles and pills, and her stained glass resurrection formed Fall Out Boy and Panic at the Disco. And Eve did not come from Adam, but they both cracked their ribs in the mosh pit and threw leather jackets to the wolves. And My Chemical Romance still broke, and God wanted to fix the brokenness, but then realized the healthiness of being apart, how no breathing space between artistry and healing almost killed the band that saved her life. And God bought all the albums, and God still knows all the words, and God listened to them over and over and over again until her parents pounded on her bedroom door and made her turn her music down. And when God wanted to kill herself, and when thoughts of suicide became a kick drum inside her skull, My Chemical Romance grabbed her by the collar of her tour t-shirt and screamed, there is nothing worth hurting yourself over, nothing worth taking your life over, do you understand? And God broke down like an old set of speakers, and My Chemical Romance held her until she fell asleep and no longer wanted to be buried in a guitar case. And this was the first blessing to Helena that faded out like a song. And the prayers ended with so long and good night. And God stayed alive for another night, and then another night, and then another night. And that meant the night was good, and the plug sparked, and the terror stopped, and the stadium crackled with light, and life carried on, and it was good, and it was good, and it was so fucking good. Thank you. Again, thank you to the band. So this next poem, if I can find it, is about two very special people in this room. Their names are RJ and Joe. And I was a very lonely kid, and I didn't have a lot of friends. And Joe and RJ would let me sit in on their band practice when I was in middle school. And this poem is called We Are the Bright Side. Every teen with a guitar thinks they're on the fast track to becoming a god or an angel. Depends on who breaks their snare drum head during a concert in their mom's garage first. It was the June before 7th grade, and because none of the kids my age would play with me, Joe and RJ were the neighborhood teenagers who let me sit in on their band practices. Bless the summers of black baseball tees, the ways they stuck to us like Catholic guilt. Bless learning to skateboard, RJ turning their bass, and the way the cornfields in our patch of suburbia tilted their ears towards a Genesis. Being there on the cement floor amidst the tangle of chords, I felt invisible in the way I wanted to be, like I was the only one with an exclusive onstage pass. The band name came to RJ in a dream. It's a tradition. RJ's father named his band from an unconscious calling. He and his friends still resurrect a stage every Friday night. I have a really good feeling about this, RJ says about the band, and we all do too. This will make a hell of a story one day. Our moms call us in for dinner, so we agreed to meet up again tomorrow. When Joe and RJ come home from college, I bring my clarinet to their jam sessions in the basement. I learn each song by hearing a note and then playing it. The imaginary audience in the driveway still hums to our shadows. We break into our loudest prayer. Thank you. All right, so this next one is from the new one, Good Luck in the Real World. And it starts out with a quote from Hanif Abdurraqib. There's a scroll of things I have taken for granted in order to survive this long, and it is endless. I talked to Julian Baker about death while washing dishes, and my arms are deep in sanitizer, a poem for all food service workers. In back of house, my suicidal ideation hisses into the sink. A customer shares a name with my dead friend, and my grief is a steel cartridge. Tiny, pressurized violence. A woman calls me stupid, and all I do to earn her praise is pour her Americano from one cup into another. My brain runs on 2/3 spite so it stays strong enough. It also screams the same things the old lady called me, so that means it must be true. We have to keep the bathroom doors pinned open when we close. A barista's body was found under the sink one morning, a few districts over. I dig coffee grounds from under my nails, gritty little God particles. It's not just that I've wanted to die while clocked in, but I am saying that at my old job, I drafted a suicide note on receipt paper on one of the slow days. I serve coffee to EMTs at 4:30 a.m. and wonder if they'll be the ones to find me. You haven't truly worked in food service if you haven't joked with your coworkers about setting the building on fire, which is something none of us would truly ever do, because this job, this vulture of joy, is helping us pay for therapy and cat food and the human right to have teeth. We know it's okay. We've all been there, viewing death as a laughable currency. I do have a nightmare, though, about the fire. Beams collapsing around the entrances, hungry and Clementine. My hands are trembling and keep slipping on the safe dial. If I don't start moving faster, I will be trapped inside. Someone is yelling for me to let it go. It will never love you back. The safe refuses to open. I've spent years not wanting to be alive, but please, please, don't make me go like this. I'll be damned if I become more kindling and cannot save our tips from burning. Thank you. This next one is called Music Theory, for Becca and Jeff. In high school, we go to Mike and Miguel's for horchatas and fries. They shut down shortly after the musical, our greasy teenage oasis, heaven sent. I didn't know how to girl then, but I didn't shower because of how heavy the sad was that lived behind my eyelids and pulled in the back of my chest cavity. Overgrown pixie cut and oversized t-shirts. I ate like a bird and picked at the skin around my fingernails. If I dressed more like the boy I had a crush on, maybe he'd love me too. Silly adolescent theory with no logic to back it. I didn't find out until a decade later my band director had called home, worried I may be depressed. Like a ligature with the screw stripped of its ridges, it took the sugar right out of me. This episode of Bluey is called Clinical Depression. I was born from a planetary egg that came from other planetary eggs that also have depression and had trouble getting out of bed, coated in the yolk of a bad dream. I white-knuckle the leash as my brain leaps from one crisis to the next. I ask for the pills to heal. When I am cocooned in blankets, my stuffed piggy falls to the floor, and I unconsciously reach for her, like a dog chasing a ball in its sleep. Thank you. All right. Yeah, I got time for 2 more. Okay. I'll do 3 more. So, this book orbits 2 stories. In 2023, I was partially hospitalized for a near suicide attempt, and then the following year, my mom had a brain bleed and was in the ICU for a week, and then in the hospital for a month after that. So it's grieving 2 deaths that haven't happened yet. This one is for my mom. It's called Don't It Always Seem to Go. Late last week, a nightmare chirped. Blood blooms copper blossoms inside my mother's skull. As one pupil dilates larger than the other, a plump rising surface berry, my father gives consent to operate. The hallway gets longer the later it gets at night. Doctors shave her curls. Somewhere in Newport, Joni Mitchell stamps her cane with delight, her first live performance since her stroke. I imagine her, too, previously intubated. A stroke is the opposite of a song. Please, please, bees and Mishaberach. Slowly, so slowly, my mother steps one grippy socked foot in front of the other to big yellow taxi. Her walker steps forward, and the nurse with a gait belt follows. Through my mask, I press a kiss on the top of her fuzzy head, a Frankensteined apple. Please, please, bees and Mishaberach. Please, please, let my birds return. Thank you. The funny thing about that poem is that she actually walked down the hallway to Ice Ice Baby, but I felt that Joni Mitchell honors her much more. I got 2 more for you guys. This is me and my dog. Time is a different fabric for the dead. Bones become limitless and unchewed. Space is reams of freshly cut grass. My childhood dog, Milo, is now on a spaceship with Laika the space dog. It is piloted by Mary Oliver, the sweet, intergalactic lesbian grandma she is. Mary kisses the little moon of Milo's nose before it is cratered with cancer. Of course, Laika's too. Milo sniffs Laika and wags his stubby tail. He can smell that she has been lonely for a long, long time. Will you be my friend? He pleads. The thunder here is scary, and the dark is big and loud. Milo and Mary teach Laika stories about the geese and squirrels because she's never seen them. How is a comet not an animal even though it has a tail? Laika asks. That's a very good question, Mary responds. Their eyes track Mary's finger as she traces the maps of grief stars. Milo tells Laika about how he sat by the front door on the night I wanted to die. She was so sad, he says. I forgot I wanted to look at the moon. Do you think I'm remembered for being good too? Laika asks Milo. Of course I do. My human gave me carrots when I was good. They crunched and were orange like love. I dream about it. Thank you. This is my last one for the evening. Thank you so much for Tim for having me here. Thank you so much to the band. Thank you so much to the bartenders and staff working here. Tip your bartenders, tip your wait staff. This is called If You Know, Then You Know. I place my phone in its cubby and smile at the receptionist, and she hands me a clipboard where I rate my appetite and ideation from 0 to 10. I hover a curved palm over the door handle and wait for the click as she buzzes me in. Does this mean that while I'm away, my tweets are coming from a birdhouse, each character broadcasting with a worm in its beak? Really, it's more like a Chicago pigeon flapping away with half a sandwich. 3 of us clutch stuffed animals. A cow, a lamb, a panda, soft comfort circle. I ask my friend who is being discharged to sign my journal after this. I'll never see her again. And she does, and of course she laughs, because it's like signing a yearbook where every day is Halloween and we're graduating from the class of I feel, I understand, in the school of not dying. I like to think our inner children know each other's last names. We all wish her good luck in the real world, and the therapist presents her a medallion. That will be me in a few weeks, I whisper. The part of me that wants to live, both happy to be here and sad to see me go. It fits into my pocket like a wish, an angel looking out for me, shaped like a song, crushed into a coin. Thank you so much.
Give it up for Adrienne Novy! All right, here's the rules. You gotta go buy a book. We are gonna take a little break. We're gonna get the band is currently, the smoke is descending, so I think they're at their peak performance levels right now. We're going to take another little break, and then we are going to come back with the slam, where some lucky poet is going to win $10 whole. Yes. I encourage you, in the meantime, get a drink and also go buy a book. Adrienne is posted up over here. Don't buy a book, buy 2. Buy one for your, well, there's 2 books, but buy a copy of each of those. Buy one for your friend. Buy one for an enemy. Let them know, like, I'm better than you. Okay. We will see you in a few minutes. Give it up one more time for Adrienne Novy!